Hi, everybody. How's it going? Today, I want to talk about what colognes I've got recently, what I've been wearing recently, and just kind of an update with me. I haven't really been doing a lot of videos lately. If you've watched me for a long time, you know I go in and out of periods where I do a lot of videos and then I don't, and I'm kind of in a middle ground, I guess you could say. I do a video occasionally, and I'm sure if you follow me, you know I do videos on other things of my other hobbies like music and movies and stuff and video games. Um, but I've kind of been out of, I don't want to say out of love with fragrances, but they've just not really been even something I have been into lately. Um, because I've been very busy with work. I've been really focusing on my career. You know, I'm a guitarist. I've been really practicing a lot of guitar lately, working a lot, doing a lot of orchestration stuff. It's very time consuming work. And then like getting into gear and stuff and kind of going down those rabbit holes. I just don't have a lot of time for fragrances, and I also have other hobbies such as video games. You know, probably my second biggest hobby. I've been playing Elden Ring. And I know it sounds silly, but if you've played Elden Ring, you know how much time that eats up out of your day. What a game! Um, so fragrances are something that I don't think is ever going to leave my life. Like I still wear a fragrance every day. It's just something I don't think about all the time now. You know what I mean? Whereas sometimes I'm really into fragrances and I want to try all these new things, and I'm just not like that right now. But I still wear one every day. So what I will say right now is that I'm not super into fragrances right now and like getting a whole bunch of new stuff, but I haven't done like a sample pack sort of thing in a while. I've done that before like once or twice on this channel, and it was kind of fun where I would buy a sample pack from a company and kind of work my way through it and tell you like my first impressions of those fragrances. I did that with Happy Land Studio for a while, and that ended up being probably no, definitely my favorite indie house I've ever tried, and some of my favorite fragrances I've ever tried. So I just bought a sample pack from this company called Authenticity Perfumes, and it's a bunch of them. They have a ton of fragrances. They're an indie house, and I have seen a lot of videos of them on YouTube, and a lot of videos that are very high praises, which always makes me kind of think that it's going to be like not that great, because when you see a lot of videos for a indie house and it's just constant praise, that normally means that they were sent the fragrance. That's just my opinion. So this might be a mediocre house, but it wasn't expensive, and I think that there's a lot of fragrances, and they're 5 milliliter samples, so they're pretty good. I think for what I paid and the amount that I'm going to get, that alone is worth it. But I'm going to work my way through the whole house. I think there's like 8 or 9 samples or something. So expect a whole series basically of first impression videos on Authenticity Perfumes. I'm going to go through the entire line. I have seen some videos here or there where people rank their favorites or they do a couple here or there. I'm going to do the whole line, okay? And you know me, I will not bullshit you, all right? If they're shitty, mediocre perfumes, I will tell you. I have a feeling they're going to be kind of mediocre, but I still wanted to do it. I wanted to get something where I had some sort of long form cologne content for you, because I've been buying like full bottles and stuff, and it's just a lot of money, and but I still love this channel, and I have other hobbies like I've previously stated, but cologne I always go back to. So kind of wanted to get back into that. So that's what's coming. I don't know when it'll be here, but it'll be here soon. It's going to be a whole line basically. I'll do the whole line. And then I guess I don't know. I wanted to tell you what I got recently. I've done videos on pretty much all of these, but sometimes you folks miss stuff, or I don't know. I kind of do stuff so half-assed sometimes, and so here or there that I don't know. I wanted to tell you what I've gotten recently, and recently for me can mean like 4 months ago, because it's just how often I purchase perfumes and I get so busy. But stuff I've kind of been wearing that I've got recently, London Barbershop by Magrid Perfumes, or Magrid Razors, I should say. Magrid Razors, I've talked about this. They make wet shaving, double-edged safety razor shaving supplies. They have their own house brand, that's Magrid Razors, and this is London Barbershop. I got this because I got a shaving soap called London Barbershop, and I thought it smelled so good. Barbershop scent, maybe not so much, but it smells like beautiful, clean Dove White soap. Just the best, probably the best soapy smell I've smelled. And I had to pick up their perfume, and it smells exactly like their shaving soap. There's no difference. So if you want an absolutely wonderful Dove White sort of clean soapy smell, Maggard Razors. This is an eau de parfum. I believe it costs $30, and it's a 2-ounce bottle. This is very good. I wear this all the time. Next, I got Pineapple Vintage. This is Emperor Extrait. I was looking for a very long time, probably like close to a year or more, of a Aventus clone that was very smoky. I've tried a number of Aventus clones that have had that pineapple fruity stuff. I don't really like freshies or citrus scents that much, but I like that smoky kick that I got from some Aventus clones. And doing some reading in the batch variations and stuff, Pineapple Vintage has basically almost like a cologne for every batch variation and then some. So I went with Emperor Extrait. This is not a cheap fragrance. This is probably the most expensive fragrance I own, but it is what I wanted. It does smell like other Aventus clones I've had, but it has that smoky, ashy sort of quality, almost peppery sort of quality that is almost 50-50 with the citrus that I've been looking for. And it's a very high quality juice. So I think it's probably overpriced, but I'm glad I have it. And it's definitely a fragrance. This is probably one of the few, if not the only, citrus fragrance I can reach to in the summer months coming and not have a problem with wearing. Most of them, I like a couple things about them, but I'm not, swell on them. This strikes my fancy, I will say. I really like it. It's very good. And then we have Paco Rabanne Pour Homme, a classic fragrance that I have to tell you is probably my most worn fragrance as of late. Probably at least the past month, I've worn this nearly every day, really. I got this a long time ago, probably last summer, and I did a little live stream where I reviewed it and everything, but this to me is like almost perfect for me. It does a lot of different things, and it doesn't go crazy in any direction, but all of the things that it does are things that I love. For instance, it's barbershoppy. It's got that clean barbershop, old school Italian barbershop kind of smell, but it doesn't go too far in that direction. It's got this green smell, this old school smell. Remember, this fragrance is from the 70s. So it smells old school and masculine and a little bit sharp like those old fragrances did, but it doesn't go too far in that direction like some can. Too synthetic, rather. And then it has a soapy smell that's very clean and refreshing, but it doesn't go too far in that direction, and it blends all these things together to really what is nearly a perfect fragrance for me. This isn't something I think everybody would like. I'd say if I could recall this one thing, it is old school, or dated, if you will. It definitely smells like the 70s, but it doesn't smell 70s in a bad way. To me, it just smells masculine and clean and fresh, and every time I put it on, I just go, there's nothing I don't like about this fragrance. Almost every fragrance I own, there's at least one little thing that I don't like about it. And I can't really pick anything out about this that I don't like. It's just got everything I like in a nice concentration, and it just smells wonderful. And I never have a problem putting this on. I've worn it in every season. It lasts just fine for me. It's not too loud, and I just love it. And I promise you, I've worn this every day for the last month, and I barely have kicked a notch in this. There's a lot of juice left in here, and this is a non-expensive fragrance. It is not expensive at all. The next two that I've been wearing, just a little bit, are from Happy Land. Cripple Creek, which as you can see has almost all the juice left in it, just a little bit I've worn. Cripple Creek was the, not the most recent, but the one before that, of Happy Land Studio. E.J. Wells is the owner and perfumer of that house. And I didn't really like this one. It's a boozy sort of amber oak caramel sort of fragrance. I generally like his winter sort of rich scents because I think that's really what he does best. And he also does a lot of fougere, masculine style scents, which he also does very well. Not exactly my favorite style, but this is my favorite style. But I didn't really care for this one. I like it, but I don't really see myself reaching for it. The booze I kind of like, but it just has an odd sort of coconut vibe at the top. A bit of an odd coconut sort of almost shampoo smell, and it's very sweet. And I thought with Cripple Creek I would get something more masculine with the little cowboy on here. I don't really get that. This is very feminine. I'd say this would work on a lot of women. Definitely unisex perfume, but when it dries down, I just get this a lot of like a caramel sort of sweet smell. And I've mentioned in my review for this, if you'd like to watch it, that it smells almost like something I would get at Bath and Body Works, like a more feminine sort of lotion or something with a lot of like this rich caramel sort of perfumey sort of smell. That's what it smells like. Very rich, but a little too sweet and a little too feminine for my taste, so I didn't really care for that. And the most recent Happy Land is Gaelic Mist, which I've also done a first impressions of, but I've been wearing this a bit too. And this is very good, but the more that I wear it, the less I like it. I have to tell you the truth, okay? I don't want you to, again, to think that I don't like it. And I have to tell you that if I were to compare these two, which are completely different scents, but if I were to compare the two, this one wins many times over from Cripple Creek. Not a big fan of Cripple Creek. This is very good. I reviewed this. It's a fresh green sort of scent. It comes off very sporty to me, which I was not expecting. I was expecting more of a masculine fougere or even a barbershop style scent. Apparently, E.J. Wells created this trying to capture his trip to Scotland and what he would smell. Whenever I think of this, I think of Ireland myself. And it's very green. It has a very non-offensive green note in it that smells like grass or plant life. If you smell the green note in this, you would just picture a big rolling hill of green, you know, like the Irish sort of green hills or Scottish green hills, just of wind whipping around the grass and everything. But there is this sporty vibe to it that comes out more and more the more I wear it. And I'm not really into sporty stuff. I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost a touch sweet. And I dare say, I've mentioned in my original review, I got a powdery vibe. I got this almost cannabis sort of vibe that I like. But there is this weird powdery sweetness that comes out that almost reminds me of like Invictus Aqua, which I would never expect from a Happy Land fragrance, but I truly get that. The dry down is very sweet and powdery and almost a bit overwhelming at times. So I don't love this one either. I did like it when I first tried it, but as I've worn it more and more, it's not a green fragrance that is something that is the key. I think when I first reviewed this fragrance, I said, this is the green fragrance for me. I rescind that comment. This is a little too sweet and a little too sporty and fresh for my tastes. So I'm still looking for that special green fragrance. I do like it, but again, much like Cripple Creek, I don't think I'm gonna be wearing that one a lot. I think Paco Rabanne Pour Homme is more like my jazz these days. His past couple fragrances haven't been really my bag. Paisley Dreams, I'm looking up here because that's where I have them. Paisley Dreams is too feminine for me. I like it, but it's too feminine. Home for the Holidays, I do like, but it's a little too warm to wear that now. And then all of his past ones, like Diabolique, probably one of the best he's ever made. I'd like to see him make something a little less sweet. I think if I could give him, I don't want to say constructive criticism because everybody has different tastes, and I know people that love Gaelic Mist. But what I would like to see, I'd like to see something like this that's a little less sweet. This is just too sporty and almost designery in a way the more I wear it. It's for my tastes. But it's a balance because then he has some very masculine scents that are too strong and masculine for me. So perhaps I just really like his rich winter scents like Happy Land Signature Diabolique. But then I also have Shadowland, which is almost, I can't categorize that fragrance. And I really love that one. But yeah, that's what I've been wearing. I do have this Authenticity Perfumes sample set coming of the whole line. I'll try it out. If you've tried Authenticity, let me know. I have a strong feeling they're going to be mediocre just from the fact that so many like influencer people on YouTube have reviewed them. But who knows? Maybe there's one in there that is like a hidden gem or something. That's all going on with me. I do have a lot going on in my life. I have a lot of hobbies, as you know. I've been playing Elden Ring, and as I always like to have some shameless promotion, I stream almost every weekday, pretty much every weekday on Twitch. My Twitch is the same as here, East River G3, so twitch.tv/East River G3. I stream every single weekday around 9 or 10 Eastern Standard Time. If you want to watch me play Elden Ring, I don't have any movie stuff for you, but I have a lot of cool guitar stuff for you coming soon. I know probably not a lot of you are into that, but I am, so I'll show you nonetheless. So that's all. I just wanted to catch up with you and tell you what's going on. And I'd love to hear from you. You know, I like hearing from you folks and hearing what you've been wearing. You got any new purchases? You watch any cool movies lately? You play in Elden Ring? Anything. I like hearing from you. We all have different hobbies other than fragrances, too. So that's that. Hope you're well, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.